Whoa, this chapter is great. So this is what happens when Oda does not skip a fight or is not messing around. I read this chapter a couple of times, and the more you read it, the better it becomes. In the previous video, I said that I don't like that Zoro is not telling this guy that Ryuma gave me the sword, and the same thing that happened with Kinemon as well. It is annoying when people don't talk normally in these situations. It is not that I expected things to be resolved by doing that, but it does make the dialogue very interesting, and also the storyline. And Oda did just that, so it was great to see. The story of Ryuma that we got in this chapter is incredible. I would really like to see a flashback about Ryuma. Based on what we heard in this chapter, Ryuma was a legendary warrior. Among the things that the weapon collector said about Ryuma, there are a couple of things that caught my attention. And one of them is that Ryuma is the one who did slay a dragon. There are two reasons why I found this very interesting. Number one, when Zoro met Ryuma, he said, "You are the samurai who did cut a dragon." How did Zoro know about Ryuma and that he did cut a dragon? That is one of the reasons why I think that Zoro could be from Wano. I made a video about that a couple of years ago. If you want to watch that video, the link is in the description. And about the second reason, I will not talk about it here since it is more complex. I will talk about it in a separate video. That video will be posted soon. One of the other things that the weapon collector said that was very interesting is when he said, "Shusui is a black blade. It became one after its many battles alongside Ryuma." Now, this is very interesting information. I made a theory a while ago where I said that the reason why some types of swords are black it is due to haki. I think there are blacksmiths that have advanced haki and they are using their haki to fuse with steel. But in this chapter, this guy is saying that Ryuma was the reason why his sword became a black blade. And Zoro was surprised. Now, it is important to note that Shusui is not black completely. It is not the same as Mihawk's sword, which is completely black. And also Mihawk's sword is a higher level than Shusui. Now, whether these swords are black because of the blacksmiths or the swordsmen that are using them, it does not matter. What it does matter is that it seems that haki is the reason why they are black. Mihawk said to Zoro during the time skip that every sword can turn into the black sword. There are two things that I am getting from what Mihawk said. Number one, there are swords that are black from the beginning, because they are made that way. One of these swords is his sword. And number two, other normal swords can become a black sword as well. So Shusui was not a black sword, but Ryuma was the one who did turn into one. I am assuming that Ryuma had advanced haki and that's why he was able to affect and change his sword. Normal armament haki can just cut the sword and protect it while the swordsman is in contact with the sword. But advanced armament haki can fuse with the sword permanently. And that's why Shusui became a black sword over time. The sword Shusui is not black completely, and now I wonder that Zoro is using the sword if he can turn black completely. When Ryuma gave the sword to Zoro, he said, "It would be this katana's long-cherished ambition for you to be its master." It could be that after seeing what Zoro can do, Ryuma thought he can finish what I started, and turn this blade into a complete black sword. Anyway, there are a lot of things to talk about these swords, and maybe I will make more videos about this topic, but for now let's talk about the fight among Zoro and those other two. Some of the panels were incredible, especially that panel where you can see only Zoro's face and he looks like a demon. So Orochi really hates that kid who did laugh at him. But now I don't know, does he hate her because she did laugh at him, or Orochi is blaming this kid for the death of Komurasaki? Whichever it is, he wants this kid dead. So this assassin is working for Orochi. It is funny because at the beginning of the story they did try to frame Zoro that he was the killer. And now Zoro has the chance to take his revenge. When I was reading what the weapon collector was saying about Ryuma and his sword, and he was looking down on Zoro, I thought he was an honorable man and he fights fair. But no, he is an opportunist. He doesn't care how he wins as long as he wins. That's fine, but what was all that lecturing about? He spoke high and mighty, but he's not acting like one. Instead of protecting his own people as Ryuma did in the past, he did attack Zoro from behind like a coward. And that's what got Zoro wounded. That guy must be really fast since Zoro did not protect himself with armament haki. Or maybe doing that it is against Zoro's code, that the swordsman should only use his swords to protect his body. Using other things it is like cheating. But even though he got wounded really bad, Zoro was smiling. That panel is incredible. Only legends do that. It is very interesting that Oda does things differently when it comes to Zoro compared to the other Straw Hats, including Luffy. Zoro looks like a legendary warrior, Some of the scenes that Oda has given him throughout the story are incredible. Anyway, it was nice to see Rayleigh in this chapter, even though it was just a flashback, but beggars should not be choosers. There are a lot of legendary characters in One Piece, but too bad that we don't get to see them. So Luffy is trying to learn advanced Haki. When he said that, I thought of Shanks when he was on board the Whitebeard's ship. We all knew that the reason why Shanks did damage even on the ship was Haki, but in this chapter it's confirmed that it was his Haki. If you have advanced Haki, you can attack people or damage objects without even touching them. Anyway, what did you guys think about this chapter? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, like, share and subscribe for more One Piece videos, and see you in the next video.